Hello everyone, welcome back to Realm of Marigold. Last time we uncovered a piece of Stella's forgotten past, peeled back a layer of Vera's motives, and came to a surprising realization that maybe she's not entirely evil, or maybe that things aren't quite so black and white. However, today the spotlight shifts. We'll see what the Arcanix Animals have been up to, possibly uncovering clues hidden in ancient books, or stumbling upon something that changes everything they thought they knew. And of course, this is Roxy's moment. She'll have to prove herself, not only as a guardian or as the 7th member of the Winx Club, but as someone worthy of the Arcanix gift. Right now she doesn't meet the usual criteria, she's the newest, the youngest, and the one with the most to prove. But sometimes magic answers to something deeper than skill. Maybe her bravery will be enough, or maybe something even greater is waiting for her. This is one of my favorite chapters in the rewrite, at the moment at least, and I truly hope it lives up to your expectations. Anyway, you know what time it is. Say it with me. Play the intro. Episode 10, Spirited Away. The ancient library of the arcane castle stands in still silence, its tall stained glass windows casting fragmented light in the stone walls. Between the towering shelves, the Arcanix Animals pace around, quietly desperate. Rena perches on a table, pawing through the thick pages of the forbidden-looking book titled The Last Coven's Deadly Sins. Beside her, Link settles down, his expression dimmed by worry. Blaze circles near the steps, eyes fleeing from shadow to shadow, while Wade remains still surveying the surroundings. His attention drifts towards a faded portrait mounted high on the wall. A noble figure stares out from the canvas, a man, elegant and strange, with faded blonde hair and dark finery, lounging with the confident ease of someone used to being obeyed. But what draws Wade's gaze is the woman beside him, less defined, her image damaged by time. Her features are half swallowed by age, her eyes smeared into mystery. Rena suddenly leaps into her feet and signals to the others she's found something. The book lies open, pages heavy with the scent of old magic. Illuminated ink describes an ancient tale, its letters pulsing faintly with residual power. The animals gather, drawn in as the story unfolds. When the great dragon birthed the magical universe, a spark of its flame drifted too far, falling into the deep waiting dark. The darkness clutched it, and the flame changed. In the time of shadows, 3 ancient witches, Belladonna, Listless, and Tharma, found that spark and saw in it a path to dominion. Their plan was cruel. They stole a newborn child and bound the flame within her pure, fragile form. But purity burns both ways. The girl became unstable, sickened by the force inside her. Deeming their sacrifice as a failure, the witches abandoned her to the wild, assuming death would claim what they could not. But the flame had learned, and it survived. Still hungry, still proud, the Coven shaped the reminder of the dark flame into a new vessel, not born, but built. Thus was Valtor forged, a child of ambition, destined to command, and designed to conquer. The witches vanished into legend, Valtor rose, but rumors remain that the first vessel walks still, lost in shadow, patient, waiting. A new page turns itself, revealing a detailed etching of Valtor, older now, regal, menacing. Wade stiffens. The man in the painting, there's no doubt. The revelation spreads through the group like a silent shockwave. Their gazes return to the portrait, and then to the faded woman. The connection is unspoken, but chilling. Could she be the lost vessel? The girl no one expected to survive, and a link to a greater, darker legacy? Suddenly, a glimmer catches Rena's eyes, strange glyphs running along the margins of the page, nearly invisible, unless seen from the right angle. She tilts her head, squinting. The language is ancient, older than the written tongue of magics. She traces a paw across the phrase, Vota animae et somnia conserventur. The air thickens as the book responds to her words. The glyphs ignite in silver-blue flame. Light spills between the pages like a crack between spaces. A pulse echoes through the chamber, deep and dreamlike. And then, without warning, the pages explode open as the book inhales. One by one, the animals are pulled towards the rift. Startled, they fall through dream stuff and memory. Wade tries to anchor himself, but is swept away. Rena twists midair, trying to keep the others in sight. Link disappears into a streak of light, and Blaze vanishes with the flash of his tail. The portal snaps shut, and the library is silent once more. Only the portrait remains. The man's smile unchanged, the woman's blurred face more haunting than ever. At the same time in the throne room, the queen sits upon her throne made of dark smoke inside the mirror. The chamber hums in an unnatural stillness, like the quiet inside a held breath. Vera's gaze is distant, not fixed on the present, but somewhere far beyond, as if scrying through invisible threads that stretch across her dominion. Her hands rest upon the arms of the throne, fingertips gently tapping in silent calculation. In the space before her, a ripple of magic unfurls across the floor like spilled ink. She watches as spectral images take shape, shifting scenes of the castle's ancient library. The Arcanix Animals clustered around the cursed book, then the flare of ancient glyphs igniting, and the portal swallowing them. Her expression barely shifts. Her eyes follow the final flicker of light as the book seals itself shut. The mirror pulses faintly, mirroring her unspoken thoughts. The animals were not expected to act so quickly. Their loyalty is inconvenient. Yet, they remain beneath her concern. More distractions than danger, for now. But even distractions must be cleared. She raises one hand, and the mirrored wall beside her ripples in response. Shards of dreams blend into moving shapes, vague impressions of a barren village, and shadows that still linger there. She senses the pull of fate aligning in that ruined place. Then, something new. A shimmer of light distinct from the realm's muted palette. Another presence entered Arcane. A new ripple moves across her mirror. Roxy, alone and freshly arrived. Vera leans back, a faint tilt of her head betraying a flicker of curiosity, not born from fear, but of amusement. Not one of six like the prophecy foretold, and therefore not a threat, but an anomaly nonetheless. A single thought lingers behind her unreadable eyes. Let the girl wonder. Then slowly, with the barest curl of her lips, Vera lifts two fingers, and dreamed mist steers. From the corners of the chamber, the shadows gather, responding to her command. Shapes slither forth, faceless and formless, awaiting instructions. She lowers her hand, and the nightmares obey. From her throne, Vera watches as the shadows slip away, descending into the portal below, not as soldiers, but as a test, and perhaps even entertainment. Her eyes return to the surface of the mirror, still always watching as Stella fights off in the courtyard. The light fades in with a hush, soft and eerie. Roxy lies still on a bed of moss, dappled beneath the heavy canopy of an unfamiliar forest. The world is colorless compared to the realm she's known, tones muted as though seen through a whisper with no message. Roxy rises to her feet, unease tightening her frame. Her gaze shifts, scanning for landmarks, for magic traces, or anything familiar. But Arcane isn't like anything she's known. The air is heavy here, not dark exactly, but tired, as if the land itself had been holding its breath for centuries. A sudden noise, a flutter, draws her attention, delicate and frantic. A small blue butterfly trembles out of a nearby bush. It circles, spiraling as if disoriented, then pauses in midair, wings shimmering faintly with spectral light. Its motions are erratic, urgent, but not random. It seems to notice her. Roxy's tension melts into curiosity. Despite not having access to her powers to aid in the communication, a quiet understanding crosses her features. The butterfly flits again, this time darting through the trees. It doesn't vanish into the forest completely. It stays just within sight, fluttering back if Roxy doesn't move fast enough, and she follows. The path is overgrown, roots twisting like forgotten memories. Here and there, broken trinkets lie scattered in the grass, a cracked music box, a child's stone toy, and a weathered ribbon clinging to a branch. The forest begins to thin, and a butterfly hovers above a clearing's edge. Roxy steps past the last of the trees and stops. Before her lies the remaining of a village, ancient and abandoned. Stone homes and towers slouch inward, overtaken by vines and time. The air thickens with silence, broken only by the sound of broken shutters creaking in the wind. A well sits at the center of the square. Around it, tattered banners hang from crumbling posts, their sigils long faded. Something proud once lived here, a community that now sleeps forgotten. The butterfly circles once more, then floats downward, drifting toward a small house as though pulled by memory. Roxy's eyes follow it, her brow furrowing. She takes a tentative step forward, entering the ghost of the world that once was, and the mist closes quietly behind her. Roxy steps across the threshold of the old home, ducking under a half-hinged door. The butterfly floats ahead, gliding through the dust-heavy air with soft certainty. The space within is hollow, but not empty. Time has worn the edges, but memories remained in the quiet details. Dust-laced shelves sag under the weight of faded books and long-unused trinkets. A child's boots rest neatly by the door. Her eyes travel to a small table where cracked ceramic cups still sit, as if awaiting hands that never returned. The butterfly pauses above a dresser at the back of the room. Its light grows stronger, pulsing faintly. Drawn by the change, Roxy crosses the room and gently wipes dust from the surface. There, beneath the grime, rests a faded portrait in carved wooden frame. A family of 2 adults posed formally, and between them, a small girl in a pink dress, her eyes bright with mischief and innocence. The butterfly lands softly on the girl's face, motionless. Roxy studies it, her breath catching. Then, a floorboard gives beneath her step. Her boot catches on a loose ledge, and she stumbles forward, knocking into a shelf. A small tin tumbles down, clattering across the wood and shattering the silence with an unnatural weight. The butterfly flits upward, startled, but not fleeing. Outside, a faint rustle steers the stillness. Rena darts ahead, ears keen. Blaze follows low to the ground, eyes narrowed. Lynx strides behind, alert but calm, while Wade lingers protectively at the rear. Drawn by the sound, they approach the source. Roxy steps back into view as the animals enter, tense at the intrusion. Her stance is wary, but not hostile. They freeze at the sight of her, equally surprised. Then instinct gives way to cautious communication. The animals step forward one by one, offering names. Roxy listens, then shares that she is looking for her friends, the Winx. Relieved, the animals let Roxy know that they were helping them to find a way to seal the evil queen inside the dream mirror before a magical book forced them into this place. Roxy also shares her side of the story. letting them know about the Winx's condition on the physical world, and also the strange butterfly that led her here. Lynx ears perk at the mention. He exchanges a look with Rena, then glancing at the butterfly, he recalls the book titled Soul Stitches and Spectral Bonds. Using magic to project his holographic memory, he shows them a symbol at one of the page's corners. A glyph tied to soul-bound echoes, spirits unable to pass on due to lingering attachments. Roxy leans closer, absorbing the information. Her eyes shift again to the butterfly. It hasn't moved from the portrait. Rena walks a slow arc along the wall, ears twitching. Blaze watches the door. Wade settles beside a cracked armchair, guarding without words. It's Link who notices the object, a small chest half hidden beneath the broken table. He nudges it forward with one paw, and Rena helps lift the lid with a gentle tug of magic. Inside it are weathered toys, a pressed flower wrapped in yellowing paper, and a worn letter tag shaped like a butterfly with faded script carved across its surface. Roxy takes it into her hands. The edges are frayed, but the name is still clear: Lily. She looks at the butterfly again. Something in its glow shifts. A quiet tremble in the air, like a sigh finally released. Roxy speaks the name aloud, her voice a whisper meant more for the room than for the living. The butterfly lifts slightly, orbiting her once in a small circle, then coming to rest on her shoulder. There's no magic binding them, only a promise. One Roxy makes with her hand over the tag. She will protect this soul. It may not be her mission, but it's now her purpose. The others seem to understand. A shared glance presses through them. The next step is now to find their way back to the castle. As they walk outside, the hair becomes heavier, closed with something unseen. Mist curls at their ankles. The village, once quietly asleep, feels like it's holding its breath. Then a shadow twists at the far edge of the square and sees them. A sharp shudder runs through the group. Rena's ears pin back. Blaze snarls low in his throat, while Link and Wade declare in unison what the creature is. From the mist on either side of the square, more shadows ripple into form. At least 5 now, maybe more. They quickly move with an urgency that screams malice. Roxy reacts instantly, adrenaline overriding doubt. She sweeps Wade into her arms. His shell is heavy, but she doesn't falter. The others run with her through the overgrown paths and shattered streets. The nightmares follow tireless, gliding with unnatural speed. Blaze scorches the ground behind them, leaving a line of flame that barely slows the closest shadow. Rena magically kicks up the fog to obscure their trail, but it parts like mist beneath a ship's bow. Link glances back, analyzing and calculating. He spots a narrowing, an alley blocked at the far end, but sheltered on both sides. They dive for it, skidding on moss-slick stone. Roxy clutches Wade tighter and follows without question. They cram into the narrow corridor as the shadows lurk closer. Blaze ignites the breeze in the alley's mouth, creating a fleeting wall of fire. Rena uses her feet to kick a crumbling wall in front of them, enough to create a diversion. Link scans the enclosed space, eyes catching on a sunken patch of stone half hidden beneath ivy. A trapdoor. Roxy sees it too. She drops to her knees, brushing vines away and pulling the handle. It groans in protest, but it gives. One by one, they descend. Blaze goes last, tail lashing as he throws one final burst of flame toward the encroaching nightmares. Then the trapdoor slams shut, muffling the sound above. Darkness folds around them. For a moment, all is still, just breath, and the soft pulse of Lily's glow casting pale light in the cellar's thick room. The space is tight, dug deep into the roots of an old house. Broken crates and rusted lanterns lie untouched, remnants of some long-forgotten stockpile. Roxy lowers Wade gently beside her and exhales, feeling the adrenaline fade in her limbs. Around them, the others fan out, cautious but focused. Blaze sniffs the air. Rena taps the walls with delicate precision. Link begins to search through the crates, eyes scanning for anything useful. His paw brushes something softer than splintered wood. A bundle wrapped in oilcloth, brittle with age. He pulls it free. Inside lies a journal, its leather cover stained and curling, but intact. Roxy steps closer as he opens it. The writing is shaky, etched in a hurried, cramped hand. Some entries are smeared by water damage and faded entirely, but enough remains to tell a story. A villager had hidden here, someone who watched the town crumble from within. They've witnessed people vanishing, loved ones returning, but their laughter's hollow, their eyes empty, not alive or at peace. The nightmares had faces once, spirits once bound gently to the village, twisted by the queen's influence, turned into hunters. The writer speaks of them with despair, naming friends who now roam the fog, their souls now tethered by grief and stolen memories. He stayed below for weeks, maybe months, until his words trail off entirely. Roxy closes the journal with care. The weight of it presses on them all, silent but deep. Then, a shift in the air, a whisper that brushes against Rena's fur. She tilts her head. There it is again, a draft. She moves toward the far end of the cellar. Blaze closes behind. Between loose boards and moss-lined stone, they find a fractured section of the wall where cold air slips in. A way out. Roxy rises, helping clear the path. Lily's glow drifts ahead, catching on flecks of dust that sparkle like stars in the beam. They pass through one by one, slipping from the shadows of the cellar into the widening dark of a tunnel. The tunnel narrows, then widens, stone giving way to open earth. Roots reach down like claws, grasping at the edges of an exit cracked by time. Light seeps in from above, pale in cloud stretched. It isn't much, but it's sky. They emerge just outside the village's perimeter, among crooked trees and wild thickets. The air is fresher, but no less heavy. From here, a hill comes into view, and on top of it looms the castle. Finally, they have a direction, but the moment barely has time to settle as more shadows return, sliding between trees, cutting off every escape but one, the cliffside. They try to run, Blaze at the front, carving a path through the thorns. Rena casts bursts of earth dust, fracturing their trail. Link and Wade keep the pace with Roxy as she clutches Lily close and pushes toward open ground, but it's not enough. Mist coils up their legs, slowing steps, numbing senses. The shadows overtake them. One by one, they're dragged down. Rena is first snatched mid-leap, vanishing in a swirl of black. Then Blaze, who vanishes behind a burst of fire. Link resists with a crack of light, but it flickers out. Wade's shell glows faintly before the dark swallows him. Roxy stumbles, but still clutching the butterfly close as the dark folds over her. Her body locks, her breath caught in her throat. Then silence. A voice rises from the dark, smooth, cold and familiar. Ogron. He emerges as if sculpted from shadow itself, his eyes hard, and his mouth curved in mockery. He circles her slowly, hands folded behind his back, as though nothing here could touch him. Roxy tries to rise, attempting to summon her power, but nothing answers. This place hits magic like a wound swallows air. Ogren leans down, his eyes level with hers, reminding her of who she was, the last of the hurt fairies, the least trained and ready. He names her flaws with poisonous glee. She couldn't have stopped him if it wasn't for the help of her friends, and couldn't even save the animals now. The shadow tightens around her. Lily tries to distract the nightmare by swirling around it, but Ogron swats her hard, making her fall to the ground like a weightless leaf. Roxy calls out to her in desperation. Tears of fury bite the edges of her eyes from the weight of every life she couldn't protect. She lowers her head with silent tears of surrender. She whispers Lily's name apologetically for failing to save her. Then, the faintest shimmer pulses once from the butterfly's form. Roxy lifts her gaze, her heart stuttering. Lily's wings twitch. She glows again, faint but alive, still fighting. The shadow tightens in response, sensing the shift. Ogron snarls, stepping forward to stamp out the light, but Roxy moves first. She lunges for Lily, and her fingers close around the butterfly just as the white circle flashes. The weapon, once dormant, resonates with something deeper, and the darkness recoils. Light bursts forth, gathering from her tears, from Lily's glow, from the memory of every choice she made to protect instead of destroy. Magic not of force, but of bond, Arcanix. It takes shape from inside out, a current older than spells, woven from the very essence of what it means to care, to stand, to sacrifice, and Roxy rises. She transforms beautifully with butterflies swirling around her, a representation of the metamorphosis she went through all this journey. Lily lifts from her hand, fully alight now. Winx trailing silver gold echoes as she spirals upwards, and Ogron backs away, uncertain for the first time. And from Roxy, light flows purely. It untangles the dark, peeling it from the air like rot from a wound. Around her, the broken earth responds, the fog thins, and the binds dissolve. One by one, small shapes begin to reappear. Rena's tears, Blaze groans, Blink blinks into the dim light, and Wade yawns from inside his shell. The shadows scream, their forms unraveling in the Arcanix light. The magic burns, but doesn't destroy them. Ogron's twisted echo lashes forward in defiance. Roxy meets him mid-charge, the Arcanix energy flaring around her arms like wings of light. Their clash sends ripples through the clearing, bending the air with impact. She doesn't cast spells, she moves with instinct, her magic following like memory. Every dodge is a dance, and every strike a vow. Ogron taunts her with venomous words, trying to fracture her focus, but the words slide off Roxy like water on glass, because now she knows, needing others doesn't make her weak, it's what makes her strong. She counters with a swarm of light fireflies, not to wound, but to cleanse. Her palms meets his chest, and the magic sinks in, filling the gaps between pain and illusion, making the nightmare shudder. Lily circles overhead, her light harmonizing with Roxy's, creating a soft chime like distant wind bells. The other nightmares close in, but the animals rise to meet them. Rena calls up vines that burn with soft gold. Blaze charges, his fire no longer angry, but warm. Link strikes with bursts of lightning that disrupt the nightmare's illusions. Wade rolls into the thickest fog, bursting outward in a wave of protective shimmer. Together, they disarm the nightmares. The more they push back, the more the shadow peels away, revealing lost faces, villagers, guardians, forgotten souls, their eyes wide with confusion and release. Back at the center, Ogron's form flickers, his shape cracks where Roxy touched him. The sneer falters. She steps forward, and with a final surge of her Arcanix spell, fluttering spirits, she releases him. Light folds through the last of the nightmare's shape. All that remains now are the soft lights of the freed spirits drifting upwards, untethered at last. Lily hovers closer to Roxy, and with a ripple of light, she shifts. Where once fluttered a butterfly, now stands a small girl, translucent. Her hair floats as if underwater, and her eyes shimmer with peace. Roxy's breath catches. She lowers to one knee, and Lily steps forward, thanking Roxy for reminding them all of who they were. She reaches out and touches Roxy's hand. Her warmth is real and gentle, stating that they couldn't leave until someone remembered them. Behind Lily, the other spirits begin to take on human shapes. Adults, teens and elders, some reaching out to one another, others gazing skyward in silence. Roxy bows her head in respect, and Lily turns towards the hill where the castle looms. She lifts her arms, and a breeze steers the clearing. From the soft grass and trees, butterflies rise again, hundreds of them, radiant and swirling in a silent spiral. They drift around the Arcanix Animals, wrapping them in a glowing cradle of flight. Blaze blinks in confusion. Wade lets out a surprised gasp, but the butterflies lift them gently, carrying them as if weightless. Lily returns her gaze to Roxy and smiles one last time. Roxy steps back, giving her space. Light begins to rise from Lily's shoulders, flickering like sunbeams. One by one, the other spirits follow, releasing their human forms, returning to the shape of butterflies caught in a wind's embrace. They rise into the sky, making their way towards the castle with the animals following in flight. Roxy takes a deep breath, then lifts from the ground, glad to know that soon enough she'll reunite with her friends once again. So, it seems that Roxy managed to come out on top just in the right moment. And she did so beautifully because it was hard to record the lines for the episode without getting emotional. Planning the script was a fun process, but also challenging, since I had to consider how everything could affect the plans for the following video. Giving Roxy an Arcanix animal would have been interesting, but the idea of introducing a character that, in the context where we already established how many Arcanix animals exist in this universe, would not make much sense, at least not to me. So with that, I resorted to look into the Arcanix games exclusive plotlines, and I stumbled upon the artwork I made for the character that we now know as Lily sitting amongst my files. She was originally a spirit who'd lost her memories a long time ago, but was unable to leave Arcane due to forces that were keeping her and all spirits anchored to the land. The overall arc of the remaining spirits being transformed into nightmares had to be tweaked to fit the progression, but it gave us answers of what happened in the land, and also gave us perspective on how strong Vera's powers can be. Speaking of our main villain, I also had a lot of fun with her backstory. Like some of the OG Arcanix fans that I interacted with, I once thought that Vera was written to be Valtor's possible long-lost love interest. And although I'm a sucker for romance, I don't really see Valtor as the type of creature that would be going around falling in love, because as we saw in Season 3, he turned out to be a creature shaped to conquer and destroy, even going as far to manipulate the tricks for his own gain. I guess Vera can be that exception, since she can be as manipulative and eager to bring darkness to all universe and dimensions, but that just didn't seem as fun to me. Considering she also looks a lot like Valtor, I was a bit weirded out by the implications of it.
Is it weird having sex with someone who looks just like you? Is that kind of the point?
Regardless, the alternative secret sibling story seemed more appropriate to explore. And now, we just have to wait for our protagonists to put 2 and 2 together. As for Roxy's Arcanix transformation, I'm still working on the animation and how to better translate how I want the scene to feel visually, but I'll be uploading it as soon as possible. Alright then, once again we've reached the end of today's present journey. If you aren't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so to help the channel grow and consider giving it a like or leaving a comment for engagement. Thank you for your continuous support. This is Philip signing out, and I hope you all have a magical day. See you in the next chapter!